Vault 2. Vault is, in the women's event, it tends to be something that, depending on the amount of fast twitch muscle born with, you can do well or not. And she can. Handspring 1.5 with a half twist. In women's vault, it's divided into 5 categories according to difficulty. And in this event, although it's competition 3, because it's a qualification round, they're going by the competition 2 rules. They must perform 2 vaults. And then those 2 vaults are average. Now they can perform 2 the same, so she could go back and do that same vault again and try and get a better landing on it. Or she could perform something a little better.
They will performing 2 vaults. And these 2 scores are average, and the given final score is 10 marks out of 10.
Well, if you can understand the announcer once again as Huilan Mo of China, 9.550. Second jump, which will be averaged with the first, a mark of 10. And as Nadia Phelps, our resident expert, pointed out, she really does have very powerful legs and doing a good job to absorb and slow down the rotation in the landing there. It looked like she was going to tumble over at one stage, so a good recovery maybe on the first vault, as the youngster from China tends to improve on the second.
Yes, and that was a stuck landing. You see, the landing penalties are very, very hard in this new code. The slightest murmur is deductible, so even a body adjustment is deductible. And if they take up to 2 or 3 steps, they can lose 4/10. And this really is a preventative measure to encourage good technique and reduce the ankle injuries. Just a little bit of knee bend on this twist.
But certainly a better second vault for Mo. Dual apparatus final with 236 men competing. An improvement there for Huilan Mo. So good standings for a young Chinese girl as we go on to the asymmetric bars.
And Romania's Nadia Hatagan. Every time we hear the word Nadia, we think of the great Nadia Comaneci, who really put Romanian gymnastics, the women, right up on the map. And we in Britain are benefiting from that Romanian knowledge, having Adrian Stan as our women's national coach. The magnesium carbonate that they put on their hands to avoid slipping, and they all have their special mix of spit and chalk. Some of them, like the bars, which are actually made of fiberglass and not wood, covered in chalk, and others like them nice and clean. So Nadia Hatagan, ready for her exercise. Looking for 3 B elements, 1 C element and 2 D elements in this competition 3. One release and catch out of the way. There's the Ginger after the full twisting giant. Good transition from low to high bar, the Kashev. Not quite to handstand, but counts. Blind change forward giant, double front flyaway tough.
Doesn't seem to have done Nadia Hatagan's confidence any harm at all there. A good start for her first performance in this second subdivision in the women's qualification.
And in slow motion with the overhead view, we did see some bent arms, and really in this day and age, the penalty for bent arms is extortionate. 2/10 she can be penalized, and we'll just see how true to form the judges are being.
the last tumble, and Valeri, well, he'll be very lucky indeed to qualify for that particular individual final. Soo Young-hoo of Korea with the first of her 2 vaults.
And there we see a tremendous difference in standard between the Chinese and the Korean girl. Handspring 1.5 tuck with a very late half twist, suggesting under rotation. They're just managing to scrape round the twist. In fact, I think the judges, she didn't have a straight body to enable her to twist efficiently, so she'll have a heavy penalty.
9.762 for Nadia Hatagan of Romania. Now that could keep her in the top 8 and the qualification placing.
Front uprise to handstand into forward giant. The Mexican Morano on the A-bars. Nice to see some Mexican women. A long time since we've seen them represented in the World Championships. Not doing badly there. Double pipes fly away. But swinging nicely, traveling easily, transition over and under the bars. Good circling actions, but not in the same class as Hatagan. Hatagan's 9.76 will really be difficult to beat. Jump forward on landing, going to cost her over a 10.
And there are the vault scores of the Korean. 5th position, 9.312, the average scoring of those 2 vaults for Soo Young.
Eurosport Live.
Will you rejoin us with Hayley Edgell on the asymmetric bars? And for those of you awaiting the score of Peter Hogan of Australia, 8.950, 11th position, which is not good enough to put Peter into the final.
And the top score so far on bars is from Hatagan of Romania, 9.7. So we know, the gymnasts know exactly what they're up against. So that's the highest score that we've seen to date. On this routine, clean, but nowhere near that level of performance. As she rotates, you can see the knees and feet slacken. There, the shoot front, Burani out, long, not lifted above the bar, and rather tatty around the legs. And I'm being observant rather than critical. Ferrazzi from Italy scoring 9.318 on vault. 10 out of 10 for trying on that dismount. Hayley Edgell there, 8.012. Judging really particular on this new code. Nice for our gymnast.
Bring you that score as Kochetkova in her 2nd vault.
Pity about the landing. It was a long one. Handspring, 1.5 pikes for the half twist, 9.9 tariff. Tariff being the degree of difficulty, the maximum score available on such a vault. Just not managing to hold that landing. They should stay still in really almost a parallel-footed plie position before their attractions in his life. A different lifestyle totally. And